This video is not going to end until I get a 5-star read. Yeah. What the fuck? Like, get it together, man. And then also too with Maya, I just wanted her to stand the fuck up, but it wasn't there. I didn't cry, so maybe that's why it's not a 5-star. Maybe that's the tea of it all. You heard that right. This video is not gonna end until I get a 5-star read. That means it could take 1 book, 5 books, 10 books, 30 books. I really don't know how long it's gonna take, but it's not going to end until we get there because I am looking for another 5-star read. If there's one thing to know about me is that I am a picky reader, okay? I am a picky reader. You can just look at my Goodreads rating, see my average reading score. It's not high, okay? It's not. And I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm not trying to be overcritical, but not a lot of things click with me. I feel like maybe I'm just not reading the right books, but I am a picky reader. And it's kind of a problem because that means I don't have that many 5-star reads, I fear that I don't have that many 5-star reads. And it's kind of a bit of a problem. Now, second dilemma in this whole situation is that I've had back-to-back good reads. Were they all 5 stars? No, but they were all great reads. I read Great Big Beautiful Life, Deep End, and The Favorites. And The Favorites ended up being my 5-star read right before I made this video, which in hindsight, I should have just included that in a video, but I just didn't think that it was going to be 5-star. And I just kind of wanted to read a book to palate cleanse before I started anything else. Am I going to regret that? Probably, but we are on this quest together. Okay. So we are gonna find my next 5-star read, whether I like it or not. And I would like to like it. Okay. So here we are. First book is gonna be A Love Song for Ricky Wilde. I do in fact own this book, which is a shocker because I don't in fact own a lot of the books that I talk about because I borrow them on Libby. Anyways, I have heard nothing but great things about this book and this author. So I thought I should give it a shot. In hindsight, now that I've started reading this book, maybe I should have picked 7 Days in June because I heard that one is a little bit better than this one. No offense to this one, but this is great. This is good so far. So maybe it will be a 5-star read. Am I optimistic that it's going to be the 5-star read? No. To be quite honest with you, no, not at all. But it's okay. Okay. It's okay. Maybe things will pick up. Okay. If not, I have a couple other things up my sleeve that I think could potentially be a 5-star read. With that being said, let's hope for the best. That's all we can do at this point. And hopefully, maybe when I update you guys on A Love Song for Ricky Wilde, when I finish it, that will be the last update. Is that wishful thinking? Probably, but I will see you guys then. So I thought I recorded a video to update you guys on A Love Song for Ricky Wilde when I finished it. Like, I really could have sworn that happened, but it didn't. And so here we are. I'm going to just give you guys a little update on what happened because the next clip is the next book that I read. As you can see by the rest of this video, it's clearly not my 5-star read. Overall, it was fine. I ended up giving it a 3 out of 5 stars. From what I remember from this book, because honestly, it's been quite a while since I've read it, like almost 2 months. And from what I remember is that it was cute. Like, I really like the magical realism of this book because it was very subtle in a way. Like, it wasn't like a crazy fantastical thing that you had to follow. And it was pretty easy to go along with. And, you don't really know what the twist is until the end, which is nice because sometimes you can like just kind of predict what it is at the beginning of the book, which is not fun for me because like if I know what it is like right away, then it doesn't really I don't really want to know what happens if I already know. Or like once I do know, it's like, oh, okay. Like I already knew that sort of situation. So it wasn't like that. It was cute. Like their whole thing was cute. There was some points where the pacing was a little bit off, in my opinion. And I think that's why I couldn't rate it any higher than a 3. For me, at least. It was nice seeing the flashbacks, but I think that also contributed to some of the pacing problems in the beginning of this book. So it was a little bit hard for me to get into it at first and really be invested. But once I was invested, I was truly invested and I loved it so much. And yeah, it was cute for what it was and I enjoyed it for what it was. But for the sake of this video, it was not a 5-star and that was sad, but it's okay. So the next book that I'm reading in this series is The Memory Police. And I do gotta say, a little caveat for the situation is that I didn't know that Yoko Ogawa, I think her name is, I didn't know she was a Zionist until after the fact. Like I only knew about this very recently. So yeah, I didn't know reading this book that was the situation. Obviously, in the future, I'm not going to read any more of her books. But just want to get that caveat out there before we get into the next clip where I talk about the memory police. I am in the middle of cleaning because I'm about to go out of town. But I did want to update you guys and let you know that I finished the memory police. And I ended up giving it on Goodreads, I gave it like a 4 out of 5. But realistically, it's more like a 3.75. 3.5 out of 5. I could definitely see why people deem this as a modern day classic because it gave me such a visceral feeling of sadness at the end of the book, which was like, the way it ended, I'm like, oh my god, like, you're just gonna leave it like that? What the fuck? You're just gonna leave me in this puddle of tears? Like, what the why would you do this to me? But it wasn't like life-changing for me, you know what I mean? I feel like for me, what I classify a book as 5 stars is something that just like really moves me in such an intense way, and I will think about it for a very long time. Like the last 5-star book that I had was The Favorites, and I still think about them to this day, which is kind of crazy. So we're not there yet, but I'm probably gonna finish up the other book that I mentioned, which is Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. And I mean, to be honest with you guys, I don't really know if this is gonna be the 5-star just at the way that's progressing, because I definitely have thoughts about how this book is going, so I don't know if it's gonna get there. But I do have a book for afterwards that I think is gonna be the 5-star read. I think maybe if this one doesn't work out, I mean, fingers crossed that this works out, because I don't want this video to take forever and a day and like we're back here in like 20 books and I still haven't reached a 5-star. Like, I don't want that to happen, but if it has to happen, it will happen. So that's where we're at. On to book 3. Hopefully the last book of this series. Probably not, though. But I'm just thinking about it. Probably not, but wishful thinking. So I am back from being out of town, which I ended up going to Chicago because I don't think I mentioned where I was going. But I went to Chicago for my birthday, and I lived out my bear culinary dreams by eating at some of the places that were mentioned in the bear. And all the places that were mentioned in the bear, including Mr. Beef, 10 out of 10. Recommend. So good. I ended up eating at Mr. Beef, Kasama, Avec, the bakery. I don't remember the name of the bakery, but there was a bakery and it was really good. So I ended up eating a lot of the bear restaurant places. Not all of them. I wish I did. I wish I had more time to do that, but I did not. With that being said, I wanted to update you guys on my 5-star reading journey because it's been a bit and I didn't really have time to update you guys while I was on my trip since I was very tired every single day. With that being said, I want to update you guys now that I am back. I did end up finishing, what's the book? Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. And I ended up giving it a 3 out of 5 stars. So definitely not our 5-star winner. I'm sorry. I ended up finishing it on the plane over to Chicago. Not that it was a bad book or a bad premise, but I think what was really pissing me off, that's so aggressive, but I think the thing that was kind of annoying me about this book is the fact that, okay, like this book is about long distance, and I just feel like, without giving away any spoilers, it was just kind of pissing me off that they weren't like actually working towards anything in terms of a solution on what they wanted to do with their lives, because like clearly they had this like very magnetic first date, and that's why they're able to continue on forward with this long distance relationship, but they weren't really actually like working to solve this big issue that they had, even though they were like head over heels in love with each other. As someone who is like a natural problem solver, and me reading this book in the point of view of these people that are like not working towards this at all, other than the fact that they're going to see each other, I was getting a little irritated, honestly. To like very, very honestly, I was kind of getting a little irritated. I mean, there were a couple other things that happened in this book too that I was like, bro, what? Why are we doing that? It was a 3 out of 5. Nothing too crazy, nothing to write home about, but nothing too crazy. It is what it is. I mean, I feel like with Abby Jimenez books, I either really enjoy it or I think it's okay. I haven't really hated any of her books so far. I have like one more left to go to read of her her, what's it called? I was gonna say bibliography. I don't think that's the correct word. Maybe it is. I don't know. But I only have one more book left. So maybe that book I'll like too. But as of right now, I don't know. Say You'll Remember Me though, it's fine. So I ended up actually reading another book after that, which was Problematic Summer by Ali Hazelwood, which is one of her newer releases. And I love Ali Hazelwood's books. I just do. I do. I really like Deep End. I think Deep End ended up being a 5-star read. So I was very hopeful for Problematic Summer. And that was the book that I read for like the duration of the trip while I was, waiting around before I went to sleep and all that good stuff. And even traveling back home, that was my book that I read. Long story short, I finished Problematic Summer because I thought that was going to be the 5-star read. Honestly, I truly thought it was because I love Ali Hazelwood. I love her books. I don't care if they're cringy. I don't care if people don't like them. I love them. And that's the important part because I'm the one reading it and I'm enjoying it. Okay? So I really enjoy it. And she's a former fanfic writer. So I just feel like she knows how to write certain tropes that click with me and gel with me as also a former fanfic reader, sometimes current fanfic reader when I'm in the mood for it. But currently I'm not reading any fanfic. So with that being said, I was very hopeful. Turns out I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5, depending on the mood and day that you asked me about it. It's not that it was bad. And at one point when I was reading it, I thought it was going to be a 5-star too. But the resolution of this book, I was just like, okay, and also at certain points too about the circumstance that they were in, I was just like, Connors, what the fuck? Like, get it together, man. And then also too with Maya, I just wanted her to stand the fuck up. But I do have to say, despite that, the scenes where there's like a shit ton of yearning, the yearning in this book, that's what made me think that it was going to be a 5-star, but it was not. It was not, and I'm very upset about that. I thought it was going to end with this book. I thought so, but we are back at square one, and I have to read another book for this. Like, I wasn't kidding when I said I was going to keep going until I found my 5-star read, but I didn't know it was going to take this long. Oh my God. I'm sunburned, by the way. I don't know if you guys can see that. This farmer's tan, this insane farmer's tan. Yeah. That is from Chicago. That is so crazy. And I also got burned on my forehead. I wore sunblock too. That's the crazy part about that. I don't know what book I should read next. I really don't know. I mean, I'm currently reading All's Well by Mona Awad. I don't know how to say her name. I'm so sorry. But I genuinely don't think that's going to be the 5-star. I mean, I might be wrong, but just so far, the first chapter, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not really feeling it. I might actually DNF it if I'm not vibing with it and just revisit it another time. But I also am reading a Carly Fortune book. I forget the name of the book already. Oh my God. I literally just checked. I don't know what's going on with me. Is it Away for the Summer? Something like that. But Carly Fortune, it's a book that I got on Libby. I'll put the cover here. There's a lot of good ratings on Goodreads, so I feel like I could potentially rate that a 5-star. I really hope so. If not, we're gonna be back at square one again. I mean, I also have a couple other books that I've borrowed from Libby, so maybe it'll be one of them as well, but I will update you guys as I start finishing these books. So, fingers crossed. Hello, I'm back with another book update because we're still on this journey. So, I finished One Golden Summer last night, I want to say, while it got close to 5 stars. We're not there yet, besties. We're not there yet. Such a shame. But I mean, what can you do? I'm not gonna force a 5-star just because I want to end this video. You know what I mean? So I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 on Goodreads, but like a true rating would be more so like 4.25 out of 5. So it was pretty close to getting to a 5-star at times, but I'm not gonna think about them. Like, I'm gonna think about freaking I don't remember some of these people's names, but I'm not gonna be thinking about them like Alice and Hayden. You know what I mean? Like Alice and Hayden, I might forget their names at times, but I'm gonna think about them and the book of Great Big Beautiful Life for a while. you know? Same with, I mean, honestly, same with most of Emily Henry's books. Like, I am gonna think of Gus and January probably for the rest of my life. Do I want to be this way? No. But that's just kind of what it is. I just feel like with One Golden Summer, it was a great story. I had a fun time reading it. And especially some of the things that were happening, the push and pull of Alice and Charlie, it was good. And that's why it was very close to a 5-star. Like, the yearning that was happening in this book was insane. Like, oh my God. But I just feel like the thing that happens at the end, like, I'm not going to spoil it, but the thing that happens at the end on the reasoning why Charlie feels the way that he does, I just feel like it was a cop-out. The fact that that was the reveal, I just feel like it was a little bit of a cop-out. Not gonna lie. Not saying it's a bad thing. Not saying I'm gonna hold it against the book, but it's just not a 5-star for that reason, because there's certain things that just don't make it a 5-star, okay? But I rock with the yearning. The yearning was so good. It was actually very good. I had butterflies. I was screaming, kicking, throwing up. I was very close to crying. So, you know, I think that should say a lot. Actually. But it wasn't there. I didn't cry. So maybe that's why it's not a 5-star. Maybe that's the indicator of it all. I mean, I'm kidding. It's not. But yeah. Close. We're almost there. Maybe. I don't know. I'm going to try reading The Emperor of Gladness, which is by Ocean Vuong. I mean, I have to read it anyway because I'm borrowing it from Libby and it's due in 2 days, allegedly, apparently. So I'm gonna be reading that. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that is the one. I really like Ocean Vuong. I think, I gave On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous 4 stars. I did. It was good. It was great even. So I think there's potential for this one. I genuinely adore his writing. I am scared. Not a lot of people I know have read it. And the people that I have, it's tough to say whether or not I'm going to agree with them. So we'll see. I have other books in my Libby, so maybe we'll get another book in there, but wish me luck. I hope the next one is my last update. I truly hope so. Not because I don't want to see your face again. I mean, I'm not seeing your face. You're seeing my face, but not that I don't want you guys to see my face again, but sometimes I just don't want to keep looking for a 5-star read. Finding a 5-star read is hard for me. And I think that's why this video hopefully is interesting for you, to find a 5-star with a picky reader. But for me, it's a little frustrating because I had to pick books that I think will be a 5-star. And that in itself, I think might be setting me up. Maybe that's the tea of it all. I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna stop yapping. I have an intense headache and I have to go mow the lawn, guys. I have to go mow the lawn and take out the trash and cook dinner and do all that because I barely ate anything. Maybe that's why my head hurts. I think I forgot to eat today. Anyways, wish me luck right now. Right now, wish me luck. I'm so sorry. That was not supposed to be aggressive. You don't have to wish me luck. I hope you wish me luck. I'm going to give you time right now to wish me luck. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Anyways, fingers crossed. Ocean Vuong. Ocean, please bring me a 5-star. Please. Okay, we already know the lighting's going to be bad. So sorry in advance. But I ended up not reading The Emperor of Gladness because I started reading it, but then the time that I had for it expired on Libby. Like, I didn't read it fast enough, and I still don't know to this day how to make this Libby Go Color 7. I don't know how to have that in airplane mode jail. I don't know. It doesn't work for me, at least not in the same way that it does with my Kindle. So it just ran out, and yeah, that's what the situation was. But I did end up finishing the Happy Ever After playlist by Abby Jimenez. And I think this is like the last book before I have read all of her books at this point. So I might make like a ranking video for that. I don't know. We'll see how I feel about it. But unfortunately, this is not a 5-star, guys. I just honestly, I'm over it. I'm so over this. I just want a 5-star, but it's not here, and I don't even know what to do anymore. Like, at this point, I really don't know. If I'm being so for real with myself, in my heart of hearts, and think about what I thought I would rate this before I read it, sure, maybe I didn't think this would be a 5-star, but I did hope, especially in the beginning of the book, I did hope, and I thought maybe it could be a 5-star. But here's the situation here. The first half of this book was great. I was having the time of my life. I was kicking, screaming, squealing, playing with my hair. It was so cute. I loved it. The main character, the MMC, was down bad for Sloane, and I was eating it up. It was great. But then the second half of the book happened, and the third act breakup, I don't even know if it happened in the third act. I guess it did. But that was so unnecessary. So unnecessary. It wasn't even a misunderstanding. It was just lack of communication. Truly, it was caused by lack of communication, and I really don't like how in this book everybody just kept telling Sloane that you know how you are, like you don't know how to take care of yourself and all this stuff. And it's like she just accepts it, and she just accepts that from her best friend and also from Jason, and just accepts people acting the way they do around her because they've accepted this fact about her. And honestly, just based on like how Abby has characterized her, like it just felt so weird that she didn't even get a little bit upset that people were characterizing her that way. You know what I mean? Like, she's trying to do better for her life, and people are just still dragging her and saying like, oh, you know how you are. Like, you know how you are. You don't really know how to take care of yourself in these situations. Like, oh, you know how you are. Okay. But she was going through a lot, and she was able to come back around and figure out her life. What do you mean that she doesn't know how to do things that are good for her and herself? Sure, maybe there are times that she didn't make the greatest decisions, but you have to also think about, like, she literally was grieving for like 2 years. And then also after, even the third act breakup, she was grieving that too. That really bothered me about that. And just like the whole third act breakup situation was, not that it didn't make sense, it makes sense why they did it and why it played out that way, but I just don't agree with it. It didn't need to happen that way. We don't need a third act breakup for every single romance book. We don't. I don't know. Anyways, I ended up giving it a 3.5 out of 5 stars, so definitely not a 5-star. And honestly, if I'm being so honest with you guys, I really don't know what my next book is going to be for a 5-star. I borrowed a few, so depending on how I feel, these are some of the contenders. We have Masters of Death by Olivia Blake, which I really like Olivia Blake's writing style, but I just don't know if this would be a 5-star. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like sometimes maybe her books are 4-star and closer to 4-star for me. So I don't know. I could be taking a risk by picking Masters of Death. There's 7 Days in June by Tia Williams, which I've heard nothing but great things about this book. But I don't know. I've been very resistant to this book, and I don't know why. Like, I want to read it. I do. But I feel like I'm not really ready to take that on because I've heard it really puts you in the feels of it all. So I don't know if I'm ready for that. There's also I Am Not Jessica Chen, and also If You Could See the Sun by Anne Liang, which I like Anne Liang. I like her books, but historically, like if I'm thinking historically about her books, I haven't rated any single one of her books 5 stars. And it's really hard to predict what's going to be a 5-star, especially because I'm super picky. I don't know. I've been so weird about the books that I want to read lately, so I really don't know. Truly, from the bottom of my heart, I don't know what I want to read. And I'm also gonna be leaving to go travel soon, so that's also gonna probably change my mood on what I want to read. If you couldn't tell, I'm stressed, and this 5-star situation is stressing me out. I guess you'll find out in the next clip what I end up reading, but I'll figure it out. I'm gonna check on Libby before I make a final decision on anything. I finally found a 5-star read. I know! Oh my god, I'm so happy. I'm so excited. I've never been this excited to have a 5-star read. But here we are. It's been a long time coming. Let's see exactly how long it's been, because my, oh my, it's been quite some time. It has been, oh my god. So the first, oh my god. I'm pretty sure my intro video, I filmed it June 17th, which is so crazy. It took 2 months to find a 5-star read, guys. 2 months. That's crazy. That is so crazy. Oh my god, Jesus Christ. Because what, like, I think that's just a testament to how picky I am. And I'm not saying that in a bragging or hee hee ha ha way. Like, truly, I am a picky reader, and it's very annoying that I am a picky reader. Because what do you mean it took me 2 months to find a 5-star read? And if I'm being very honest with you guys, like, if I weren't doing this, like, if I weren't actively looking for a 5-star read, I actually don't know how long it would have truly taken me to find a 5-star. Because the thing with challenges like these is the fact that, like, I'm thinking about, like, the best books that will fit the 5-star, but on, like, a normal everyday reading thing, I'm not thinking about that. I'm just picking a book that maybe I'll like, maybe I won't. And I mean, obviously I always strive for a 5-star, but it's, like, not that big of a deal if it's a 5-star read. Like, I read just to read because I like reading, but that was really stressful. So stressful, guys. And I'm so happy that we are done because, oh my god, Jesus Christ. Before I tell you which book cracked the code, got me to a 5-star, I do want to update you guys and let you guys know that between the Happy Ever After playlist and the 5-star read, I did read the 2 Teen Titans graphic novels, so Teen Titans Robin and Teen Titans Starfire. I did read them on my flight to LA, and they were fine. They were 4-star reads for me, like solid 4-star reads. Actually, JK, one was 3.5 out of 5, and then the other one was 4 stars. It's fun. It's a romp. I appreciate what they're doing with the series, but it's not like a blow my mind sort of situation. So I enjoyed it, but it wasn't a 5-star. But then I picked up Fury Song, which is the 3rd and last book in the Aurelian Cycle series by Rosaria Munda, I think her name is. And oh my god, this book, oh my god. Okay, so this book is not like a perfect book by any means, but it sure did end in a great way. I don't want to get spoilers because if you're gonna read this series, like, I want you to read it, and it's gonna be good and you won't regret it. And I love it so much. It's, like, truly one of the best series that I've read in a while. It's just so good. And I didn't realize that the author of the series, Rosaria, she based this off of, like, Plato, I'm pretty sure, and, like, the Odyssey, and, like, had inspirations from classical, like, literature, which is, it makes so much more sense. Now that I've actually, like, read all 3 of the books, it makes way more sense. It's, like, literally classic literature adapted with dragons and stuff. The 3rd book, while it wasn't, like, oh my god, like, the best book in the entire world, it, like, since it's a series, I feel like it's a little bit different. And to think about this book in the series as well as, like, a standalone book, I think it did the perfect job at wrapping up this trilogy. It did a really good job of that. I really love how the author is not afraid to take these characters and take the story in a very dark direction and commit to the bit. That's all I'm gonna say. She commits to the bit and she does not care. And she does it for the sake of the story and for the sake of things to make more of an impact, and it works. And I really appreciate that, because one thing that I really don't like, especially with a lot of the newer fantasy books, is that people don't commit to the bit. Okay? Like, people do not commit to the bit. People are scared to kill off their darlings, whether it's, like, favorite characters or whatever, or, like, make people unlikable. Like, people are just so afraid to do that. I get it. Like, if you're writing these characters, of course you want people to like them. Of course you want people to like your story. I get it. But the thing with having everybody be likable it's that there's no impact to the story if everybody is likable. You need people to go through a character arc. Sometimes people will be likable and then unlikable based on their decisions, and then they have a redemption arc, and that's okay. Or sometimes people start off as like a terrible, terrible person, and then they have a redemption arc that like makes them the favorite in the next book or whatever. Like it needs to happen in order to make a impactful story. With the Aurelian Cycle, especially in the Fairy Song, the book that I rated 5 stars, like she does a wonderful job, like truly wonderful job, and I really appreciated it. I was laughing, I was crying, it was a whole mess, but I appreciated every single bit of it, and I just loved it so much. It was such a great ending to the series. I'm sad that it's over. I hope she like writes another book series in this universe, but either way, I am going to be reading whatever she puts out there because it is so, so, so good. And the fact that this is a YA book is like kind of insane. This series is a YA series because it gets really dark. Honestly, it gets really dark. Parts of it, I was like, wow. This kind of is giving me like PTSD flashbacks to the Poppy War series. And it also made me want to reread the Poppy War series, oddly enough. So maybe I'll do that. But oh my god, I'm so happy to be done with this video. Like, you don't understand. Not that I don't want to do this video series at all, but like I was stressing out. I already said this earlier, but I was stressed out because I thought at one point I was never going to find a 5-star read. I was like, oh my god, did I just read all the 5 stars that I was going to read this year before I started this video? Like, what have I done? But I haven't, and I found it, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited to read without thinking about this, at least for a while, because I'll probably make another video like this in the future. But anyways, that is it, guys. Let me know if you guys have read any of these books. I would love to hear your opinions. Let me know what some of your most recent 5-star reads are. And that is it. I will see you guys next time. Bye!